Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Tennis Weekly with Joel, Kim, and Chris. Today is the 2nd of December, and we are here to catch up on the year in tennis at Tennis Weekly HQ with our 2024 end of season quiz, where over the next couple of weeks, we will be quizzing each other and our listeners on all that has happened across the ATP and WTA tours in 2024. And to celebrate this momentous occasion, a real staple actually of the Tennis Weekly podcast, we do love a good quiz. We have donned our festive best for the occasion.
Yeah, we are all nicely dressed in festive jumpers, and Chris has got a nice scarf emblazoned with
some
festive polar bears.
Some festive polar bears. But
Kim, you have gone above and beyond.
Well, I'm wearing a Santa hat, so
over your headphones.
Over my headphones, yeah. I am. I was worried.
Must be quite a tight fit. Must be a very large.
Nice and snug in there. Yeah.
Yeah, very warm. If Kim gets too hot, then we might have to pause the quiz.
Yeah, I've got a nice mug of something nice and hot. So I would suggest listeners do the same.
They almost look like earmuffs, or like the festive edition.
It's got gloves and thermals on as well.
Exactly. This episode is on YouTube, so if you want to look at our outfits and see for yourselves, then yes, please do. But it's set to be a very interesting, spicy affair. Because also, Chris, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like you are just like the quiz master over the season, even when I've seemingly felt like Kim had the open goal of defeating you.
Yes.
She snatched
defeat from the hands of victory.
Defeat from the jaws of victory.
She has, but she's got the tip down now, Kim. You've got to write the answer that you know is right first.
Yeah, go with your gut instinct.
No obscure answers first.
Completely. We can see how we do. It's always great fun. No matter your tennis knowledge, do play along at home. It is, and see if you can beat us. Joel and Kim aren't feeling confident they can beat me, but maybe someone out there will. That would be wonderful.
Yeah, let's put Chris in his place in the nicest possible way. But before we get into the quiz, we do just have a quick crowdfund announcement. Big thank you to everyone who has donated so far to our crowdfunder. We really do massively rely on your support, as we are a by fans for fans podcast, and so far all your support has allowed us to produce and record 468 episodes across 7 seasons, including 77 this year and counting. So it's an astronomical amount of podcasts we've done, and we do obviously rely on your support. We've had over £300 worth on the crowdfunder already. So massive thank you to everyone who's already contributed, however large or small your donation. It really does keep us going, and it's hugely appreciated. And we just couldn't keep doing what we're doing without our wonderful audience out there. So if you do want to show your support and you're able to give something, then please do look at the link in our description. It's www.gofundme.com/tennis-weekly-2025. The link is in the description to this episode. So big thank you in advance, and thanks to everyone who's contributed already. And I wonder if that's going to come up in the quiz, the number of episodes we've done. Has anyone put that in there?
Well, Kim, actually, it's actually 469 episodes.
It's already out of date.
Goodness, I remember last year there was something. What was the rogue question that wasn't tennis related, but was tennis weekly? Was it the churros question?
Oh, was it? Yeah. Where did we go?
Did you have in Malaga? I think yes.
Well, we couldn't find it. That was the whole point.
That's actually the answer was 0.
Yeah.
0. Okay, got it. Well, I clearly got that one wrong last year. I wasn't paying enough attention. But before we get into the quiz, there was also a very big bombshell piece of news. This caught us all by surprise that Iga Swiatek had actually failed a drugs test. She tested positive for a banned substance. We are not going to ruin the Christmas flow by kind of inserting the recording that we have done for that at the start of this quiz. We're going to keep the quiz light, but we did record a mini podcast where we unpacked everything around that situation and also discussed doping at large in 2024. So that is a YouTube exclusive. Do check that out. The link will also be shared on social media. If you'd like to see that, we'll share it again after this episode. But we're going to keep it light, and we're going to keep it enjoyable, and we're going to just enjoy the quiz.
Yeah. And we're going to get into, Chris, the festive flow. I really loved how you put that, because this is all about, we've got our Christmas jumpers on, we've got our Christmas clothing on. Let's get into the festive flow. Let's look back on 2024. And this episode is going to be all to do with the ATP Tour in 2024. And we have 15 questions, 3 sections, so 5 questions in each section. And each section for you and our listeners we're going to have one section on the ATP Tour in general, so all the tournaments. Second section, Grand Slams. And then the final section will be Olympics and team events. So 3 sections in total. All questions will be worth 1 mark. Very, very simple. And one of us will be the quiz master for each section. And the other 2 will be challenging each other in a kind of a mini head-to-head. So yeah, we've got 3 sections. We're all going to be quizmaster. And finally, as well, as I say, if you need time, if you want to kind of think about your answer a little bit more, just pause on the pod after the question is read out. We will leave a slight pause as well, but we're just going to kind of keep this kind of going naturally flowing as much as possible. But if you do want a bit of extra time, do kind of pause, maybe make yourself a hot chocolate, get yourself a marshmallow, light up the fire. But yeah, this is what this episode is made for.
This is the Love Actually of tennis podcasts. It's the ritual around Christmas that you've just got to sit down and, well, in this case, listen to or watch us on YouTube. So shall we get into it without further ado?
Oh, I'm nervous. I'm nervous.
You're
I'm nervous. I'm quizmaster for round 1. I'm doing ATP Tour in general. So that's our first round. They are varying in levels of severity, I would say. So let's see how we go. So are you both ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Listeners at home, I hope you're ready. Right, question number 1. Which player became the lowest ranked player to defeat Novak Djokovic at ATP Masters or Grand Slam level in the second round of Indian Wells this year?
Oh, starting on strong there, Kim.
I can repeat any questions if you like as well.
Indian Wells. I'm going to need some thinking to go back to Indian Wells, I think.
I've
Chris
got my answer.
Quietly confident, I think.
I just don't want to say anything to give anything away. I'm not charitable today, Joel.
Okay, I'm going to have to be drawing a blank here and guessing. So I feel like maybe I should go first because I'm not confident.
Okay. Give us your answer.
I'm going to say, I don't even know what his ranking was back then, but I'm going to say Thomas Machak.
That's not a bad guess, I would say,
guess.
because I think he has beaten Djokovic this year. I think, she says. Chris, but what's your answer?
I went for Nardi.
Do you have his first name? You don't need the first name, but just being.
Should we go Lorenzo? I can't remember.
No. It's Luca Nardi, but Chris, it is correct. It is Nardi. Wow. Give yourself the point if you've got Nardi. Yeah, he was a lucky loser, ranked 123 at the time.
Wow.
Djokovic in 3 sets at Indian Wells.
That's when we said it was all over.
Massive shocker.
Okay. That's crazy.
Yeah, I
we just wouldn't have thought that at the start of the season, would we?
No, that was a kind of a sign of parts of Djokovic's season, really.
He didn't play much outside the slams either, did he? So I mean, we should remember that one, Joel.
Italian tennis, just any Italian, just like doing things this season.
Get that man tested.
Oh gosh. Right, question number 2. Kind of continuing an Italian theme here, somewhat. In the Rome Masters earlier this year, 2 players from the same country reached the semi-finals. So can you name the country and can you name both players? You'll get half a point for the country and half a point for both the players.
Whoa,
I'm locked
Kim,
in.
This is locked in.
Chris again is looking really happy.
Which Masters? Which Masters?
With the Rome Masters on the clay.
Masters.
2
you
players
haven't been revising,
from the
have you, Joel?
Country reached the semi-final.
2 players from the same country. I mean, again, I've got another stab in the dark, but I'm not confident.
But I kicked this one off, do I?
Do you want to give us your answer, Chris? And Joel can see if he's consistent with yours.
I believe it was Chile. They were both from Chile, and it was Tabilo and Jarry made the final.
Joel, were you kind of thinking along those lines, or?
I was thinking America, but I was not thinking South America as continent. I was thinking North America, and I was thinking United States, like Tiafoe and Shelton or Paul. But yeah,
no, I'm afraid Chris is correct again. So by the way, I'm scoring.
Okay, good.
You guys, I'm keeping scores of our
I'm
scores.
just jotting it down on my notes app.
2-0 at the moment, Chris. But yes, it was indeed Chile. It was Jarry who did reach the final and Tabilo semi-finals. Okay, question number 3. Britain's Jack Draper won the Stuttgart title in June, but how many previous ATP finals had he contested prior to this final? So I just need the number. I don't need the where they were or where it was.
I'm trying to give you that as well, Kim.
Oh, you struggling on this one, Chris?
I've got it, I think. I hope so.
Okay. Again, not 100%, but I'm gonna go. I think I want to say 2. I think 2, and I think one of them maybe was in France.
Chris, what's your answer?
What was the wording of the question again, just to check? If I'm saying the same answer as Joel, but
Jack
wording it
Draper
differently.
Won the Stuttgart title in June, but how many previous ATP finals had he contested prior to this?
Ooh. I was also going to go for 2.
Well, 2 is correct. So you're both right. 1 point for each of you. The finals previously were Sofia
and
Adelaide. So
Yeah.
not France,
okay.
but that doesn't matter in this case. So yeah, he won it on his 3rd attempt and now has 2 titles.
I always get confused. I always think UTS counts, but it doesn't, does it?
Yeah. No, sorry, no, ATP. Yeah.
Yeah, I should have been clear on that one in my mind.
Question 4. Which 2024 ATP Masters title winner recently got engaged to their longtime girlfriend, Amy Pederich? So those of you who follow,
I know this.
follow maybe the
ATP
on social media might know this.
And just to repeat that again, Kim, for our listeners and myself.
Which 2024 ATP Masters title winner recently got engaged to their longtime girlfriend, Amy Pederich? So if you know your Masters title winners from this year, that narrows it down a little bit.
I like the double question there, 2 pieces of knowledge required to unlock the answer, Kim.
Oh, wow. Complexity is my middle name. Right. Chris, would you like to give your answer first this time?
I think it's Alexei Popyrin.
Joel, were you on the same page?
His face says no.
I was not on the same page.
Did you go Felix?
Because I think this player also got engaged, and that's why I just said it. And I thought he did win or did he get to a final?
Ooh.
I thought it was Felix Auger-Aliassime. That was what my brain was going to.
Oh, well, thank you for being honest.
Thank you for being honest.
In this case,
you're not writing down these answers.
In this case, Chris is correct. It is Alexei Popyrin. We've had 2 other players announce engagements in the past, I think Casper Ruud and Felix Auger-Aliassime, but they are not Masters title winners.
Congratulations to them all.
He got to Did he get to a final?
Madrid.
Okay, yes.
That might be the next question, though, Joel.
Oh, okay.
It's not.
Which now engaged ATP player made it to the final of Madrid.
But yes, we wish them all congratulations for their engagements. And right, the 5th question from the first round is this. This is quite British specific.
Ooh.
So apologies to our continental or overseas listeners, wherever you may be listening. In only their 2nd tournament together, which British doubles pairing won the Tokyo 500 event in October, beating Ariel Behar and Robert Galloway in a championship tiebreak and saving a match point along the way?
Ooh.
So you can get half a point for each of the names because it is a doubles pairing. So there is some pointage still up for grabs if you only get one of them.
Yes.
And funnily enough, they've both won with other partners already. So it was just their first title win together.
I've written down my answer, Joel. Not trying to pressure you. Am I leading this one? Have you got something down?
I'm just trying to remember the partnership escapes me. I think one of them.
Oh, is it you first, Joel?
Oh,
Yeah, Joel can go first.
is it me
Joel,
first?
yes.
Okay,
Off you go.
We'll let him roll with this.
I want to say uh, Joe Salisbury, and it's someone from I forget. I'm going to say Salisbury and this isn't right.
This is worth watching, listeners. If you are
Salisbury.
listening,
And
you want to watch Joel squirm.
struggle.
Just go through doubles pairs, Salisbury and
Just another Brit, Joel.
Skupski.
I'm afraid that's not correct. Sorry.
Got a little bit of a different answer. I think it's Cash and Glasspool.
That's it. Patton and Cash. That's what.
No, it's not Patton and Cash.
It's Patton and Cash. That's his
It's Cash and Glasspool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was trying to think of that doubles because I remember them
Yeah.
splitting, and I was like, yeah.
So yes, it is Julian Cash and Lloyd Glasspool. Listeners, give yourself half a point for each of them. Hope you enjoyed that round. Chris is on 5 out of 5. Well done. And Joel is on 1 out of 5 for that round.
Oh my word.
I will
I
keep
think
track
these
as
are
we
tough.
go along.
These
Actually,
are tough
I
questions.
think Kim's gone tougher. I might have gone
no.
even tougher.
I'm so
Actually, I'm a
sorry.
bit worried about that now.
Right, apologies. It's going to get easier. That's the good news.
Well, you've got to enter the quiz now, Kim, haven't you?
I do. So I will, maybe that's my tactics. I thought I'll give you guys really hard questions.
Yeah, and
so
go
that you'll
first.
be easier on me. Although, Chris, you still nailed it. So, let's see how we get on next time.
Yes. Who is up next?
And let's move on to section 2, which is the Grand Slams for the men. So, Chris, over to you.
Right. Here we go. Joel, this is a section where I think you excel every year, the Grand Slams. So this should be a good one for you. Your special subjects are Grand Slams and the Billie Jean King Cup Finals Dead Rubbers. I couldn't do 5 questions on that for the ATP quiz, but I have got 5 questions on the slams. I'm not sure I've distributed these perfectly equally between all 4. I should have thought about that now. I'm looking at this list and thinking maybe I didn't do that right. But question number 1, and out of you two, I'm going to go for the nearest can have the point. I'm going to be generous, but Novak Djokovic played the latest ever finishing match at Roland Garros. But what time did it finish?
Ooh.
Who was that against? What round was that? My brain's just gone blank. Right, okay. I've got a pen and paper. I'm just jotting thoughts down.
I've got a time. I've got a time.
Yeah, I've got a time in mind.
Are you going to go exact or are you going to go rounded? What gets the best chance of winning?
How rounded do we need to be?
I'm looking for specific numbers here.
Okay. No, that's fine. I can do that.
Okay. How are we
Should
feeling?
I go first?
Yes, Kim.
I will say it finished at this might be a bit late actually. 3:15 in the morning.
Oh, that is really Kim, it's not Melbourne. It's not Melbourne. It's not Madrid.
Actually, that would no, but if he took to the court at like 11, could be a 4-hour.
I am gonna say
Joel's just because it's not Melbourne. That's all he said.
2:36 a.m.
That's not that much earlier than my guess.
Joel, I think he changed it based on the response that I didn't give to Kim. So I'm going to say, Kim, excellent number. It was 3:07.
Oh, do I get the point though? That's all that matters.
You do get the point. And if you were too far out, I think I would have gone back on my word and said nobody got the point. But that was rain affected. He took to the court in the 3rd round at 10:37 on the Saturday evening, and he won at 3:07 local time, and he came past Lorenzo Musetti 6-love in the 5th set.
Yes.
It was an epic. I was in Paris. I wasn't at that match, thankfully. I did go to bed that night. But yes, very well done, Kim. That is your first
very
point.
well done, yeah.
1 from 1. A question that Joel might like quite a lot would be Andy Murray played his last ever doubles match at Wimbledon. He didn't win that match. But who beat him? Which doubles partnership beat him in that match? I'm looking for 2 names to get the point. We can give everyone a bit of time for this one because I'm looking for 2 names.
Because they had the ceremony after this match, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
Oh, that is.
And obviously, he played with his brother.
Honestly,
Joel, you were
names,
on court.
I was on court for this, but I am struggling. I'm still struggling big time.
I mean, I've got an answer.
They
weren't
necessarily household names,
feeling.
but
yeah, I've got an answer. I think. I don't think it's right.
Wow.
I wasn't. I don't have.
Maybe you were too emotional at the time.
I
guess it didn't matter who the opposition was. Yeah.
I think it was an Australian. I think they were a pair of Australians.
Would you like to hazard any names?
It's just all blurring to one. It's not Purcell. I don't think it's Purcell. It's the guy who plays with a hat on.
That is Purcell, I think.
Yeah,
he has
that
the
was
cap
Purcell,
with the backwards bit on.
Okay.
No, I'm timed out. I don't know.
Timed out. Kim, let us know.
Were you trying to say John Peers, actually? Maybe. No, I don't know.
I don't
anyway,
think I was. Matthew Ebden.
Okay, well, we'll continue on, Kim.
All right.
I'm not correct because I think it probably is Australian. I put granolas and Ceballos.
Okay, so if in doubt, you went Spanish.
I can
Spanish
tell you and Argentinian.
Joel actually being on centre court did get him closer, but actually it was Rinky Hijikata.
Oh, Hijikata, yes.
And it was John Peers.
Oh.
It was indeed.
Yeah.
But obviously you were too busy thinking about what question you would ask and whether Subaka would be there. But I mean, that's a piece of history they will always be a part of. So no points there, but did you get it at home? If you were watching, maybe you did. The names would have been on screen the entire time. We will now move on to another doubles question. I'm quite doubles focused actually for the Grand Slam this year. Which player, by winning Roland Garros, became the 6th man to complete the career doubles Golden Slam?
God.
I honestly think my brain might work a bit different because I thought I pitched this a bit easy.
Yes. 6th man to do it, was it?
If you could name the other 5, I'll give you a bonus point, Kim.
I think this person did it the year before, but I don't have anyone else.
I've got a name as well.
Yeah, I thought they'd already done it 2023.
Who are we going to kick off with then? Joel, if you're feeling confident.
Was it Nikola Mektic? That's my answer.
Kim?
I put Matej Pavic.
It's Pavic. It's the
other one.
It's the other one.
Heavens.
No.
Wait, is it Pavic?
It is.
Oh, okay.
It is Matej Pavic. Well done.
I thought he'd done it the year before at the US for some reason.
I also thought that, but they are on different sort of timings there. He won the title with Marcelo Arevalo, I want to say. I'm not sure I'm saying that quite right, but that was a big moment for him. Very impressive and a very big result. So we are seeing quite a few people complete the Golden Slam across the WTA and ATP tours. We'll move back to the singles now. I think we probably spent enough time on the doubles. And now we're going to move to the US Open. The eventual champion, Jannik Sinner, dropped 2 sets on the way to the title. I will give you half a point for each of the players that he dropped a set against. 2 players and 2 sets. If you can name them both, you get 1 point. If you can name one, I'll give you 0.5, half a point.
Is this, sorry, the US Open or the
US
Australian?
Open, sorry.
Okay. No, that's all right. Right, I've got one, which I'm fairly confident about.
I think I've got one as well, and that's about it, I think. But yes.
I think Kim approaches this a bit like a pub quiz. She's very methodical. She's going through names.
What I'm getting from
notepad.
everything so far is I should have done my homework a lot more. I
didn't do any homework, Joe. I'm just going.
Okay.
I'm winging it off.
I think 2 years ago you did prepare. I remember we took it more seriously potentially. I think now it's just more of an annual sort of Christmas gathering of us, isn't it?
I better not tell you about the controversy I had at a quiz night on Saturday evening.
Ooh, were you on the right or the wrong side of it, Kim?
Well, we got the answer right, but the quizmaster had it down wrong, and yeah, it was a whole very political.
Well, hopefully that won't happen today, because if that does happen, we will go by what the quizmaster says. So the answers, please, Kim.
Mackenzie McDonald and Grigor Dimitrov. I think one might be right.
Okay,
I'm not sure.
and
Second.
Joel, would you like to give two answers?
One of my answers was not either of those, Kim. I was going to say Francis Tiafoe, and
You've got to think of a name, Joel.
I've got no other names.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
You would have gone Dimitrov as
Copying
well.
Maybe Dimitrov.
Maybe.
Yeah. I was all out of ideas.
It's fine. You can do
I
that.
thought this was too easy. My original wording was which player other than Medvedev, because I thought maybe if someone got it, it'd be particularly good. So Medvedev was one.
Yes.
Okay.
But Kim, I'm so impressed because you're completely right. It was Mackenzie McDonald.
Wow.
Jannik Sinner
Well,
lost
thank you.
the first set he played of the US Open, and he lost it 6-2 before he went on to drop only 5 more games, I believe, for the rest of that match. So very, very impressive. I'll give you 0.5 there, Kim.
Thank you.
Very, very well done. We're now on to, I think it's my final question for the slams this year. And we're talking Grand Slam semi-finalists. So I believe this to be correct. So we might be going to avoid a dispute here, Kim, in case any of our listeners disagree. But by my calculations, which is a Google, there are 3 players who are outside the world's top 10 that made it to Grand Slam singles semi-finals in 2024. Can you name all 3 of them for 1 point?
Outside the top 10 Grand Slam semi-finals, right? This
might be one where have a pause, everybody. If you're at home listening, go through the slams and see how you can do this one. It's quite a big ask for 1 point. When Joel did say that we are only giving away 1 point per question, I did think this was pretty harsh, but cast your mind back to January. Some of the headlines, I think that always helps me with these questions. What were the big stories? Who made the final? Also, Joel, were you there for any of these,
Can't remember who the 4th Australian Open semi-finalist was.
I might be generous and give if someone gets 2, you might get the point as well.
Or maybe half a point.
Yeah.
But I've only got 1 at the moment. So,
okay.
I even saw the Wimbledon semi-finals.
You did, Kim.
No, but I don't know, but I've got that one, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Kim. Don't give him a clue.
Wimbledon semi-final. Okay, interesting.
Some might be more recent than you might think. I'm going to give you
just
15 more seconds for this one. For our audio listeners, I think we might have to speed this one up a little bit. For our video listeners, I think this probably isn't the most entertaining of video content that we put out. Yeah. This might be the end of the channel, but we're going to go for some names. And Kim has got a couple, we think. At least 3 names, I hope. Because that's quiz best practice is to name 3 people.
I've got 3 names, but they're not. Well, one is Lorenzo Musetti, who I'm confident on at Wimbledon.
I think we can say that's correct.
Yeah. And then I've gone for Taylor Fritz, but the fact that he was not in the top 10 at the time, which I think he was, but I couldn't think of anyone else.
Okay.
And I've just put Ben Shelton because I don't think that's right, but I just couldn't think of anyone else.
Kim.
And here we go. Joel,
Kim.
Can you complete the set?
Well,
this one, guys.
This is like the one moment I feel like
tennis.
I can have in the podcast.
Yeah.
Have you got them, Joel?
How have we not said Jack Draper?
Oh yeah,
Jack Draper is correct. Jack Draper.
How have we not
correct.
said Jack Draper?
Oh dear, that's awful of me, isn't it?
Musetti is correct. I was not going to say Musetti, so I'm going to hold my hand up there and say.
And did you have one more name for us, Joel?
I don't know if it was this year or last year. Tommy Paul.
Everybody, I can say you got 2 out of the 3 collectively. The third one was Francis Tiafoe.
Oh, right. Okay.
And
so Joel gets the point, does he?
He didn't get 2. You both got 1, I believe.
Oh, I see. Sorry, between us we got 2, right?
So we can give you 0.5 for the 1. I think maybe 3 was setting the bar a bit high.
Okay, 0.5 each.
So
then.
take 0.5, and quite interesting though when you think about it that so many of the semi-finalists were just the top players. I mean, Roland Garros was like that. So was the Australian Open. No surprises in some of those. So The US Open seems to be the easiest one to get a breakthrough at.
Right, yeah, I thought there was one rogue person at the Australian Open, but clearly it was one at Wimbledon, two
I thought
at
someone might
US.
put Casper, thinking maybe he's not as high, but he was at the time. So
Mm.
very well done, everybody.
Well, I got 3 on that round and Joel got 0.5. So
No.
Joel's still
Joel.
bringing up the rear.
This is not
Joel,
good.
that can't be true.
This is not good.
And Joel, soon it will be your time to give me and Chris the questions. We're going to take a very quick break now, but do join us, listeners, in the second half to see what Joel's got up his sleeve for both myself and Chris on team events and the Olympics. So do not go anywhere. Welcome back to the Tennis Weekly podcast. And now it's time to move on to our Olympics and team round. Joel, you are
This is like some respite.
Master.
This is like some welcome respite for me.
Take some time, enjoy the control.
Fill up your drink.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like my questions are a little bit easier, but maybe not. I don't know. And it's actually
Who
quite
won the
interesting.
gold medal?
It's actually quite interesting because one of Chris's questions, very, very similar themed to one of my questions.
We're talking semi-finalists here.
So anyway, question...
Who got engaged at the Olympics?
Question 1 for my round. Who was Rafael Nadal's final opponent in his career in Malaga at the Davis Cup finals?
Well, that's quite nice and recent, isn't it? I suppose, which helps.
I'm going to start with Kim. Kim, you got to start with this one.
Yes, I think our listeners will also have got this one quite quickly. Botic van der Zandschulp.
Chris?
I also went for a bit of Botic there. I did think it was also him.
That is correct answer. Very good. Point to you both.
So Joel, you're worried now. You picked this.
I mean, you've already beaten my score from the last round, but yes. Right. Okay, so this is an Andy Murray related question. Very similar themed, Chris, to your question.
Okay.
Andy Murray played the final match of his career in Paris at the Olympics with Dan Evans in the doubles. For a point, who was Andy Murray's final doubles opponents on a tennis court?
Ooh.
I was going to give the nationality, but because it's been so hard for me, I'm actually not going to give the nationality.
No, I think you're entitled to do that, Joel.
I can't. The problem with this question is there were so many they should have lost that I can't actually remember the one that they did lose.
That is so true.
I've got a pair, but I think it might have been the pair that they beat in that first, like, really epic.
I think I do have the answer, but I also think that they could have lost to any of them. But you've got an answer down, Kim?
Yeah, shall I go first?
Yeah, go for it.
I've put I don't know if I'm saying their names right. Gil and Vliegen.
Oh wow,
the Belgians, but I think they might have beaten them.
I think they edged them,
round.
did they? I went for 2 singles players from the United States. I went for Taylor Fritz and Tommy Paul.
Yeah, I think you're right.
That is correct. Yeah, Fritz and
Well
Paul.
done.
I'm getting quite warm with
Kim,
this.
if I had said American pair, would that have helped you? Do you think
She wouldn't? She loves an obscure. She'd go
Would
cry
you
like
say
and
Pepper
Ram.
and Shelton?
Yeah, I might have just said the other ones because there's quite a few.
Right, next question. I feel like everyone forgets about this event. I'm not gonna lie, it's happened so long ago. But
Oh no!
which country won the second edition of the United Cup, winning all their matches in the decisive mixed doubles? I know I've sort of cheated here with a mixed event in a team event section, but yeah, United Cup second edition. Which country won it?
I think I might have this one actually. Whether it was this year or last year, but that's such a long time ago, isn't it?
I'm going to guess this one. Shall
Okay,
I go
Chris.
first?
Yep, Chris. Who are you going for?
I think Poland made it to the final, but they lost. And I think I was really willing them to beat a certain Alexander Zverev. And I think that Germany actually beat them, and I was quite annoyed at that moment.
Oh, okay.
Kim?
Well, I said Canada because I remember something about Shapovalov and Felix, but was that actually 2023 maybe?
It might have been because Chris is correct. It was It was Germany. They did defeat Poland in the final. And it was a lot to do with how Zverev played across that event.
That was
well done, Chris.
That was an unfortunate one. That one, yeah.
Yeah.
Who was his partner? Was Kerber, wasn't it?
Who else plays in the men's?
Yeah, it was Kerber.
One of each, isn't it? Yeah.
And then the only one was, I think she won one match that week against Tomjanovic. Very interesting. Anyway,
they won all their matches on a 2-1 on the mixed doubles. So wouldn't surprise me. Right, fourth question. There's quite a few answers to this, and I'm looking for all of them for 1 mark. Novak Djokovic became just the 5th player to win a career singles Golden Slam consisting of all 4 majors and Olympic gold when he beat Carlos Alcaraz in the Paris men's final. For a point, name all 4 other players to achieve a career singles Grand Slam, male and female.
Nice. Good question.
I mean, does that
feel quite confident about this one?
4 players,
like
male and female.
Counts as a WTA question? No, let me just write my answer down. Okay, so
we'll allow it. It's a crossover, but it's all good.
Do you want the split of male and female names I'm looking for? Okay.
I don't know this one at all. 4 names, not including Djokovic, I imagine.
Correct.
Okay, I've written down 4 names.
As have I.
Okay. Kim, you go first. What have you got for me?
Rafa Nadal, Serena Williams, Andre Agassi, and Steffi Graf.
Okay. Chris?
I've gone very similar. I went Nadal, Serena, Steffi Graf, Andre Agassi. Is it Sampras, though, is my question. But I went for Agassi.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Agassi and Graf definitely both did it because they did it in the same year, didn't they? And it was like, they're the golden couple.
But then I think we've got them, Kim.
Yeah. I think we have.
You do both have them, is correct.
Well done.
Yeah. Nadal, Serena, Agassi, and
I think that was self-marking there, Kim.
Okay. And the final question. The Laver Cup was won by Team Europe against Team World. Chris's favourite event.
Did not watch any of
season,
this. Yeah.
For the 3rd time in a row. But what was the final score?
How many did they play out of? I don't know.
What was the final score? And if you both don't give you the correct score, I'll give the point to the closest.
Okay.
Closest score. But let's see what your answers are first. So the Laver Cup was won by Team Europe against Team World for the 3rd time in a row. But what was the final score?
I have an answer.
I've got an
answer.
But I couldn't tell you.
Okay, Chris.
I'm going to say it was won by 1 point. Very dramatic. But I also don't know. I know it scored 1 point for day 1, 2 points for day 2, but I don't know how many matches it played. So I said 17-16. That seems quite high, doesn't it?
Well, I said 14-12. So, but I think I was debating 15-13, but I've gone for 14-12.
The answer, you're both not correct, but I do think there is a person who does get a point here. The correct answer is 13-11. So I think Kim gets a point.
You can have that.
Oh, thanks,
Two
Joe.
difference and closer on. Yeah. So
Big Laver Cup fan. Kim.
I feel like I feel like Chris is not. He's not bothered. He's not bothered about getting this.
I actually
wrong.
think that getting a Laver Cup question wrong is actually a badge of honor. Really, a victory for real tennis.
You save your knowledge for things that count. Well, that brings us to a close for our formal questions. We do have quite different scores, I have to say. Joel is bringing up the rear on 1.5.
Wow.
No, Joel.
Wow.
Joel, come on. There's got to be a forfeit attached
wooden
to that.
spoon. Wooden spoon.
But it's not over yet, remember.
No,
there is the WTA to come in the
WTA,
future.
Yeah. I've got 6 points and Chris wins with 9. Well done,
wow,
Chris.
Well done.
Joel, if we teamed up, we would have got
maybe
house that last one, Chris.
Yeah.
Well, next time,
yes. And listeners, would love to know how you did with the quiz. Was it too hard? Did you like
comment
the level?
below whether it was too hard, too easy,
Did
and how
anyone
many you got.
Did anyone get close to me? Please say yes to sort of just help.
Does anyone watch as much tennis as Joel? But
but not retain the information.
Yes.
There is a lot that happens though in the season.
It's a weekly wipe for Joel each week.
It was difficult. But that's not all, because we do have a completely separate mystery round as well.
We do. Mystery round. Yes, there is a bonus for you both and our listeners, because I have got we can't do a quiz without this. We've got a festive par for the courts coming back, and it's a par for the courts back and forth edition. We've gone highest number wins the last few times we've brought this out, but this one is going to be back and forth. And the topic for you and our listeners is, I would like to know any of the 16 countries that have won the Davis Cup since 1972.
Wow.
Ooh, okay, we can do that. That's
I'm going
to
get up the answers right now, if you just bear with me one sec. But this is back and forth.
And since when? So since it's
1972.
Yeah, which I think is the inception of the modern era Davis Cup.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. I feel like, Chris, you got the high score, so you can choose whether you go first or second.
Well, I'm gonna go. I'm going to go second, because I do think that if Kim has many chances to guess, she does like to go for a rogue one quite early.
Oh, well, no, I've learned from my mistakes. I'm going to go for the one.
Okay, all right, Kim, kick us off.
Please.
Great Britain.
I mean, Kim.
That's still quite rogue, but correct.
Quite rogue.
Yes, Great Britain is a correct answer.
I was going to go Italy, if I was honest.
Italy, also a correct answer, yes. So that's 2 out of 16. Off to a good start.
Serbia,
also a correct answer. 2010, yes.
I'm not sure why Kim hasn't said this one. I'm going to go Spain.
I was saving it, you see.
In case no one gets it.
Yeah.
Correct. Spain, 6-time winner of the Davis Cup.
USA? I assume are on there.
Correct. Yes, they have won the most titles, 9 titles. Last though in 2007. But yes, they are on the list. So that's 5.
I remember Croatia winning it within the last 10 years. So that's safely within 1973. So I'll go for Croatia.
Croatia is a correct answer. Yes, they've won it twice. And yes, the last time they won it was in 2018. So that's 6 out of 16. We're approaching halfway. Kim, it's over to you.
Australia.
Very good. Yes. Australia, 6 titles, last in 2003. Can we get to 50%, Chris?
I think we probably can, because I saw this on the walls of Kunnalinga Tennishallen in Sweden. I believe the Swedes have won it, and they won it 2 years in a row in the 90s.
That is very good. They're actually second on the list all time with 7 titles in the Davis Cup. Yeah, who would have thought? But yes, Sweden are on the list. So that is 8 out of 16.
Are we going to do it all, Kim?
Are you going to do 100%? I'm slightly nervous. I'm going to have to think of a backup tiebreaker on the spot.
Run out of countries.
Well, I've been trying to think who was good in the 80s. Obviously the Swedes had Borg, they had Edberg, so they would have.
She's going to go for another rogue one.
Well, I'm just thinking who else had solid players. Germany. Boris Becker must have contributed to a win at some point.
Germany?
Yeah.
Yes, that's a correct answer. They have the 3 titles, last 1993.
I do have a question in terms of the naming of countries. If the name of the country may have changed.
Yeah,
since
I'll
then.
take. Yeah, that's
okay.
fine. That's
fine. I think the Czech Republic have won it.
Yeah, that is correct. Also 3 titles. Czechoslovakia, Czech Republic. Yeah, both. Yep, correct. Yep. So that's 10. We're down to final 6.
I actually think we could do this, Kim. Come on, if we do this for the first time at Christmas.
France.
Oh, that's a good one.
Correct. Yes. France last time in 2017.
I don't think anyone said this. Has anyone said Switzerland?
No, we haven't actually.
No, but Switzerland is a correct answer. Yep. So Switzerland is
That was a pretty memorable moment. Yeah.
I don't want to mess it up for us.
Out
now,
of 16, there's 4 left.
Yeah.
This is very impressive, guys.
I have got 4 written down on here, but I've got.
Stop it, Kim.
Right,
I'm going to say we could shake hands and just call it quits.
I'm going to go for Argentina.
Correct. Argentina 2016 winners.
I don't think anyone has said this, but if they do, I will take the hit because I'm struggling a bit now. I don't think we said something. And what Kim said earlier in this quiz made me think maybe Canada had won it.
I had them down on my thing.
Canada is a correct answer. Yes, they won it in 2022. Right. First time they have ever won the Davis Cup.
How many are left now?
There are 2 left.
I've got 1, and I don't think
I've got one that it's quite a big nation, but we haven't. They're not allowed to compete at the moment. But I'm thinking, I don't think they've won it recently, but they might have won it.
I'm going to lose, aren't I? Because if this is right, I can't think
is this
of one.
Is this the one you were thinking of as well?
Yeah.
I was going to say Russia, or they could have won it as the Soviet Union, but Russia in some capacity.
Russia is a correct answer. It's over to Chris. God. I think for the final answer.
I honestly think I've been timed out of this one because I don't have any tennis nations left.
So just to clarify, we have said United States, Sweden, Australia, Spain, France, Italy, Czech Republic.
Oh, this is tough.
Germany, Russia, Croatia, Serbia, Switzerland, Great Britain, Argentina, Canada. There is one answer left. Chris, you're going to have to... this will be working a miracle, I think. A Christmas miracle. It is the time of miracles.
Is it Lapland?
I would like as good as my answer at this moment.
Tennis.
I would like to offer a Christmas miracle to our listeners, but I don't think I can. I will not concede without going out without a fight. I'm going to say India.
India. It's a great shout, but it's an incorrect shout. Kim, you have defeated Chris.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
If I went first, I think you would have.
I regret that decision, but well done, Kim.
Could I take a punt on the last?
You can do.
You get this, Kim. This is really the victory.
I mean, I had Belgium ? Written down, but I don't think that's right.
They've made a final, haven't they?
Yeah, Great Britain beat them.
Great Britain, yeah.
Kim, if you had said to me Belgium, it would have been an incorrect answer. No, Belgium not on the list. There
Normally,
was one
that would have been your second
other
answer.
country.
Yeah, I know.
One other country, and listeners,
Hungary.
Big kudos if you got this. It was back in 1974.
I remember it well.
South Africa.
Oh.
Lloyd Harris hasn't been playing that long.
No, nor Kevin
Harrison
Anderson.
Who was playing that day?
Good question. We need to look it up.
Listeners, tell us if you were there and tell us if you remember that, because that is unbelievable. But Kim, what a way to end the year for the ATP for you.
Oh, yes, delighted. I never win those. So thanks. Thanks, Joel, for putting that together.
Thank you to all the listeners who believed in you.
Yeah.
It's like an Oscar speech.
I know. And we can do it all this time again next week with the WTA season quiz as well, which is coming. So do look out for that. It's kind of our part 2 of our festive quizzing series. And I look very much forward to doing that again. And Joel, hopefully you'll have better luck next time.
Are we wiping the slate clean, or are we keeping going? Okay.
We are wiping the slate clean, but
very
yes,
convenient.
We're going to wrap up our ATP 2024 end of season quiz there. If you've enjoyed this and any of our episodes this season, do remember to support us with our crowdfunder. Honestly, any amount really, really helps the show. We are a by fans for fans podcast. The link is in the description. So if you can, please, it will make a massive, massive difference. But we're going to end our ATP 2024 end of season quiz there, brought to you by the Tennis Weekly podcast. As always, remember to subscribe to us to stay up to date on all the action to come from the ATP and WTA tours.
We are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and all major podcasting platforms out there. So if you like what you're hearing, then make sure to leave us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, as well as a like and subscribe to us on YouTube.
Yes, and do make sure you watch this one on YouTube. It's just like going to the pub with your mates, where some of you will do very well and some of you not so well. So everyone feels good at the end of a Tennis Weekly quiz. And you can follow us on social media or email the show. We're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and X. The handle for all of those is Tennis Weekly Pod. It is Christmas. A wonderful Christmas gift, even if I say so myself, would be some of our Tennis Weekly merch. We have a few tote bags left. They are lovely, a fantastic stocking filler, even if I say so myself. That's etsy.com/shop/tennisweeklypodcast. You can email the show, tennisweeklypod@gmail.com, or do check out our website, tennisweekly.co.uk.
And we will be back next week for our WTA 2024 end of season quiz. Hopefully, I will do a little bit better that time, but I hope you can join us for that. But in the meantime, it's goodbye from Kim. I have messed up the outro there. I thought I was doing it so smoothly. I'm going to say that again. Right. We will be back next week for our WTA 2024 end of season quiz. So I hope you can join us for that. But in the meantime, it's goodbye from Kim.
Goodbye.
It's goodbye from Chris.
Goodbye.
And it's goodbye from me. We'll see you again soon.